selecting the first. Whichever you want. Now that headline is up to you. It's not up to the copywriters, the editors, it's not up to the press. It's totally up to you. 5 months from tonight is election night. 5 months from tonight is election night. All we've got is 5 months. We're halfway through the year to the election. I just ask all of you, I gotta tell you, we had a great convention last week in Tacoma. We had 3 times the number of people the Democrats had at their convention. We walked out of that convention united. A lot of people said, oh, there's going to be blood on the floor, they're going to kill each other. Not at all. We're united with one intention, taking our country back, taking our state back. All right? I've asked for the list of everyone who's famous who's here. If we miss you, it's Larry's fault. Because I was just given the list, but a lot of candidates here, the kind of people that are going to get us, help us take country back. Elizabeth Scott, County District. Dan Matthews, Congressional Candidate, 2nd District, Dan, where you are. Robert Zimmerman, also running for the 39th Legislative District. That's nice time over here.
Yeah, over there.
That's okay. He's to my left where there aren't many people to my left. John Piazza, running for Skagit County Commissioner. John right there. Bill Cooper, Chairman of the Snohomish County Republican Party. Bill right there. Koster staff, Will, Matt, Polly, Larry, and KY. Ladies and gentlemen, raise your hands. Charlie Crabtree, State Committeeman, Whatcom County. And our credentials co-chair, who was right there. You're there. Yes, okay, that's Charlie. He was our co-chair of our credentials committee. Good job. Jeff Wallace, Snohomish County Superior Court. And Jackson, let's say you're an incumbent or you're a challenger. It doesn't say your honor, so I assume you're a challenger. The King County Koster Congress team, the coalition builders. I have no names, but congratulations. Emily Vanderweyland, right? Emily, Buffalo City Council. Donna Wright from the Marysville City Council. Kurt Stevens from the Snohomish County Council, nonpartisan. Bob Everett, Carolina Court of Commissioner, and Koster County Chairman for Skagit County. Bob. Laurel Christensen is the coalition chair for King County Koster for Congress. Laurel, I saw you in here somewhere.
Yeah, Laurel's here.
She's hiding. No, she's over there. And State Representative Kirk Pearson, who gave us our invocation running for the Senate, State Senator tonight. And Captain Ross, retired United States Navy, the Koster for Congress Finance Chair. He wants to talk to you before you leave. Now, Larry and I are going to stand at the door and not let you out until you write a check. All right? That's it. Okay. Now, we also want to thank Sean O'Donnell, a great friend of the Republican Party Conservative. And I hope that you eat here, even when there's not a Republican event here, because it's great food. And then Judy Fenton with the elephant ears, which I hope the adults can have, because it's the only reason I came. I just want to share a few thoughts with you before I introduce John to all of you. This election, and you hear this every 2 years, I understand. This election is the most important one of your lifetime. And I'll tell you why it is. Because this election is a choice election, as one Democrat strategist called it yesterday. It's a choice. We have 2 paths this country can continue. The one we've been on the last 3.5 years. The president with broken promises, who is in a way over his head and doesn't know what to do, and follows the old standard statist left-wing policies of government spending and debt and taxes and plain class warfare, where the debt has gone up over $5 trillion in the past 3 years. I don't know if you saw it today, but the CBO, Congressional Budget Office, said if this path continues, within 25 years, our debt will be twice our GDP, twice our economy. Now, economists will tell you when your debt gets about 25% of your economy, that's the warning sign. We're at 100% now. We could be 200% within 25 years. And this guy, with all due respect, Mr. President, he's not suggested any change. He wants you to go out and buy a thingamajig. That's how he wants you to. He said this the other day. You know, we don't raise taxes on them. We don't put that the Social Security tax back in. They're going to buy a thingamajig for their furnace. That's not how we're going to solve the economy, Mr. President. We're going to solve it by giving investors confidence, and wealth creators and builders and job creators confidence in the future, so they'll invest their money and grow and hire folks like you and your friends that have been unemployed for so long. I mean, we're in a country where the unemployment rate is artificially low because people have stopped looking for work. Think about that. What must it be for an American to say, I give up, I can't work anymore? There's no jobs. We have fewer people working today than when he took office. Despite the fact he promised unemployment would be below 8% if we passed his stimulus package, he said he cut the deficit in half. So folks, this isn't just about the president not keeping his promises, it's about bad policy. If he gets reelected, do you think the past 4 years have been bad? He gets reelected. I've been affirmed by the American people, they agree with me, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and it's just going to get worse. And we will become Europe. Now Europe, in their own sick way, is waiting for us to bail them out, because we're not Europe. But if we become Europe, who will bail us out? Who will bail us out? It's the American dream that's at stake, the hope that every one of us has in this room, that our kids will lead a better life than we do. I certainly lived a better life than my mother. She lived a better life than her Polish immigrant parents, and many of you are living better lives than your parents did. And you want to give the same thing to your kids. With the mounting debt, and with the growth of government, and government taking over so much of the private sector, that hope is sliding away. And the American people know this. You may argue with your friends about who's a liberal, who's a Democrat, who's a conservative, who's a Republican, but the American people know the dream is slipping away. And many of them have given up hope we can do anything about it. Well, my friends, decline is a choice. Decline is not inevitable. Decline is a choice that people make when they give up. I'm not ready to make that choice. America's best days are ahead of us if we so choose. If we so choose. So every time you choose between now and November 6th, what you do now will dictate and affect and impact what happens on November 6th. And I don't know about you, but when my kids come to me in the future and say, what did you do? I want to say, I did everything I could to make sure the dream stayed alive for you. I don't have to say I was too busy. If I didn't care, if I didn't know, I just had more important things to do. There's nothing more important than securing the blessings of liberty for our posterity. Nothing. Founding fathers died for it. How are we going to do that? Well, we have this guy who is still behind me somewhere. Yep. Who I've known for 20 years. Back right before Jim was first elected to the legislature in '94, the last time the Republicans swept this state. And he went down to Libby, fought really hard. I had him on my show a lot. I got to meet him. We became close friends. We stayed friends ever since. I teach high school homeschoolers. I teach U.S. history and American government, and I teach them leadership. And I say, you know, there are three things you have to be concerned about. Three things that make up leadership. One is character. Someone has to be a man or woman of their word. They have to be trustworthy. They have to say what they mean and mean what they say. They have to do the right thing by instinct. They don't need to be told the right thing. They know the right thing to do. That's character. Then there's conviction. You have to believe in something greater than yourself. You have to believe in something. America, God, whatever it might be. Even communism. I mean, communist leaders had to believe they were right. So a man needs conviction. Are you firm in your principles? Do you believe this to be the right thing? And the third thing is courage. If you don't have the courage to act on your character and act on your conviction, it doesn't matter how much character and conviction you have. We have with us a man, we're going to elect a Congress on November 6th, of character and conviction and courage. His name is John Koster. Before John starts, I want to say this. I'm presenting to John, on behalf of the Washington State Republican Party, this check for $5,000.
Thank you. And no, Doug, you don't get it wherever you're at. I'll keep it in my pocket. No, I'm just kidding. No. Wow, there's a few more people I want to introduce. My lovely wife is hiding back here. My wife Vicki. Most of you know her. Raise your hand. My sister-in-law Deanne. My daughter Michelle. And two of the 9 grandkids, Brandon and Levi. First one over this, right, guys? I'm waiting for the elephant here, so I'll try to be short and sweet here.
And your brother Bill. And your brother Bill.
Bill, where are you? There he is! My brother Bill. All right. I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. I want to thank the campaign team. Are you excited about November? I'm excited about November. I gotta tell you, I was driving down to the convention, and Larry called me. He says, "Have you seen the latest poll?" I says, "No. Tell me about the latest poll." I said, "Who ran that poll?" Survey USA ran it for King 5. Showed on an election, if the election were held tonight, the primary we'd get 46. Darcy Verner would get 19. The rest of them are in single digit. The numbers look really good. But as Kirby says, we have 5 months to go. In some ways that seems like an eternity, in other ways it's like, that's gonna go so fast, you can't believe it. So, while you're all here tonight, we're gonna make sure we get you volunteered to do something, whether it's ring doorbells, phones. Larry wanted me to make sure that you knew that the maps for your precincts are ready to go tonight, and the material is here. So don't leave without it if you're ready to go.
If you're ready to go, just let us know. KY and Matt and Will, we're all around, and if you want to get a stack of brochures, we'll give them to you, and a map. So, thank you. See us over at the table on web.
Larry?
And the map's up on the wall. You can find out exactly where you are. And
Larry?
Yes.
Why don't you introduce KY and,
Yes.
and Matt so they know who you're on?
certainly. KY, can you raise your hand? Okay, Matt?
Okay.
Okay.
For those of you, the polls just closed in Wisconsin. Preliminary numbers. Walker, 57. Very well for us. Great numbers. Great numbers. I want this much excitement in November. All right? I want this much excitement in November. But I tell you, on a somewhat serious, on a very serious note, Kirby's absolutely right. This is, without question, the most important election of our lifetimes. And this isn't a time for choosing what kind of a country we're going to be in the future, what kind of a country we're going to leave our kids, what kind of opportunity we're going to leave our grandkids and our children. You know, I believe the brightest days for America are still ahead of us. It's still the brightest days for these kids if we cut them loose, if we keep them free. And I got just a little aside here before I let Doug get up here. I've always said, when I see our soldiers overseas, I always make sure I thank them, but I always think, let's not lose freedom here. Well, they're fighting there for freedom. And there was a gal that got on the radio, I heard this on the way down to the convention, and she went up and thanked the soldier, and he said that to her. He says, you know, a lot of us wonder what the heck we're doing over here when we see what's going on at home. He says, thank you for the work you do at home. Don't lose freedom there while we're over here. Okay? That's how important it is. And he thanked her. So I'm thanking you for these guys, for your kids and for your grandchildren. Let's win this country back. Let's keep it free for them. Whether we're talking about taxes, or whether we're talking about the regulations, or whether we're talking about regulatory agencies, the thread that runs through all of it is the thread of freedom. The things our founding fathers fought for, the reason they came here, the reason they founded this country. So let's keep it free. Let's keep it free for our kids. Let's go out and win it in November. I can hardly wait till November 6th. Thank you.
Again, I want to invite you to grab some material on the way out, but there'll be lots of Saturdays to do that too, but if you can, grab some tonight. And with that, I want to bring up our finance chair, and he's a friend to all of us, and he was the captain of an aircraft carrier. He had oversight over 5,000 people, a small city. I've just found, by getting to know him, you just do what he tells you to do and you're all right. Anyways, Captain Doug Ralstone.
Thanks, Leonard. Well, if they'll all listen to me, I want them to get out their checkbooks, right? I'm kind of the closer for the event, if you want to call it that. I want to take you back, some of you, a couple of years, about almost 4 years ago. I was up in, Arlington at a post-election party, and John had run in the 2nd Congressional District, and the early votes came in, and everybody was cheering their heads off. He was ahead by about 1,500 votes initially election night, and what we found is we caught ourselves flat-footed. In all the elections previous to that, the previous 6 elections in Congress, if you were ahead as a Republican on election night, you probably picked up another point or two after that, and so we all were feeling pretty good at that point. But what happened is the Democrats beat us. They came in, they brought busloads of people out in Whatcom and Skagit counties and Island County, and they went door to door and told seniors that John was going to take away their Social Security, and they flipped people over at the very end of this election. So it's really nice to have a nice poll that says you're ahead or trending that way and all. That's only reason to invest more. That's only reason to work harder. That's only reason to get more involved to make sure that really happens. We didn't quite go as far as we needed to go last time, and part of it was maybe we got a little bit, looked pretty good in the primary when John actually got more votes in the primary up in Whatcom County, which we were really targeting than did Larson, and so we thought really good. So now's the time to celebrate and eat a hot dog and all that kind of stuff, but the hard work comes, and the hard work comes in different forms. These things are out there, and everybody ought to sign up, because a candidate can't win without support, and that support is phone banking, volunteer. Nobody has signed up on this list yet. We need phone bankers. Anybody can phone bank if you can talk. I don't think you can phone bank in Braille, but other than that, almost everybody can phone bank. Doorbells, we have one. Steve Schott has volunteered a doorbell, and don't we need more than one person? And volunteer in the campaign office. I can tell you when I ran, it's essential to have high-quality volunteers in the campaign office, people that can answer the phone, particularly when people want to help and they want to do something and you need somebody to direct them. It's important to have great people here. So,
Doug, we will put these on the table.
okay, put those on the table right now.
That way they'll do some.
John said you're supposed to listen to me, so you need to sign up on those lists. It's very important. This is an envelope that scares a lot of people because it asks for money, but it also is a place you can volunteer on there. You just put your name and address and say what you want to do. Even if you put nothing in the envelope, it's important that we, keep track of volunteers, and you can volunteer that way. So it's important. Now when it comes to money, the economy isn't great. Lots of people are hurting. Unemployment has just gone up, and it's a tough thing. But it's time to invest. The people that are investing a lot in these elections now are people that in 2008 thought that Obama, well, maybe he won't be so bad, or maybe the thing was to kind of do the moderate things that we all heard about. Maybe he'll do that. He hasn't done that. And you know what you're going to get now. There was an idea in the past, you know what you're going to get, and you know what you're going to get if you get Darcy Berner or Delbaney. I mean, it's just unconscionable. You can't do that. And when you think of what this country was based on, like many people in this room, I raised my hand and swore to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and bear true faith and allegiance to the same. And that pledge has gone back all the way back to Revolutionary War days when soldiers stood up to fight for this country. And the people that signed our Declaration of Independence, what do they say at the very end? If you can't remember this, you ought to go back and pull out your Declaration of Independence. But they pledged their lives, their fortunes and their sacred honor. And I really think the lives of us and our kids and our grandkids are in the in the fire right now. We got to do something about it. Our fortunes, you're not going to have your fortune if things go much worse. I've got a friend of mine that used to be on the Federal Reserve in San Francisco, and this guy's a very prominent banker, and he's terrified. He thinks we're going over the cliff, and it's 2 years away. And 2 years, can you imagine? Only 2 years away. John ran in 2008. That was almost 4 years away. We're almost there, and you can't do that. And your sacred honor. Do you believe in this country? Do you believe in what we stand for? Do you believe in the American dream? I heard it talked about, I think it was Rush Limbaugh, somebody was saying on the radio, do you ever hear anybody talk about the French dream, the Greek dream, the Chinese dream? That nobody talks about that from any other country in the world. They talk about the American dream. And I can tell you, having served in the military for 27 years, been all around the world, 80-some countries, that people die to get to this country. They die to get here to have the chance of maybe becoming, a citizen of this country. And we're, in this room, we're so very fortunate that our parents were here when we were born and we became citizens. So this country is worth fighting for. It's worth dying for, I believe. And this candidate, John, has put himself out there, not the first time. It takes a lot to win, and he's willing to make it another shot, and we all owe it to him to support him in every possible fashion we can. If you don't have a lot of money, sign up on the list. If you have a lot of money, give a lot of money. Because unfortunately, the people he's going to run against, more than likely, are two Microsoft people that can self-fund their campaign. They will spend 2 to 3 times more money than John is able to spend. And so we need every bit of financial support we can get. It also kind of shows the people at the national level when he's trying to get people in here from the outside to help us how all the campaigns do it. So I urge you to take an envelope out of here and make sure if you don't have your checkbook now or
Somebody raising their hand with envelopes right there.
whatnot,
Okay.
that you write a check tonight, take another one home when you can afford to write another one, and it's really important. If you know people that you think might support John financially, call up the office. Let us know. We'll follow up and do all that.
Doug, let me just add that we're very close to having the money to fund the campaign through November. But the money now is going to go towards our media and ad buys. And if we don't have those, we can't win. So money now is going to go towards that media buy, and we're going to need lots of commercials to stay with these folks from down in the south end.
But so Kirby has the program of 12 and 12, but he forgot that really should be 13 and 13, because we're going to pick up this seat and take this one back, a former Democratic seat, and get John in Congress, and you can help, and now's the time to sign up, now's the time to write a check, and now's the time to volunteer to get on the phone. And, I really urge you to support. We're going to do everything we can and help us out. Thanks a lot.
Actually, it does 1-1 and 5. The old first, the new first, and 5 Republican seats. Okay? It's the best chance we have to pick up a Republican seat in this in years. Let's get her done.
Thank you.